so spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
One of the hallmarks of the 1960s was the rise of the cultural consciousness among the black population. New and groundbreaking research shed new light on the life and history of our African ancestors, and even brought new focus and understanding on the culture and history of those black races outside of the Dark Continent and throughout the diaspora. Black America had seen struggle, but as it began to find its voice, speakers, intellectuals, and social activists, from Malcolm X to Stokely Carmichael, they made their way through the United States to educate others on what they had learned, what they had hoped to see, and how they felt about the current African American condition. An important target for these revolutionaries were the young minds of the time. Those individuals who hopefully would one day be in the position to carry out these important, ambitious plans and bring positive social and cultural changes into fruition. What better place to bring together these progressive thinkers than on the college campus? Little did many know, but on the campus of Morgan State College, 14 young men were listening. They knew something would be done to involve themselves in this movement towards a new chapter in the history of the black race.
Groove for Groove is an organization that was founded in 1962 at Morgan State College, now known as Morgan State University. It was started as a group of brothers that got together and felt that there was a need for a new type of movement on campus, a new type of social atmosphere where people felt welcome, people felt that they could be able to join a group without feeling that they had to fit a certain mold, to be of a certain social class, or to be of some certain social status on campus already.
I've always seen Groove to be an organization that was really open to everyone. Back in the day when Groove was started, was to be different and cater to whoever felt they had something to offer the organization.
What do the letters mean? The letter G, groove, not gamma. During the 1960s, the word groove was popular among young blacks. Webster's dictionary defines the verb groove as to perform deftly or smoothly. As a noun, groove is defined as a fixed routine in the affairs of life. Hence, to go against the groove means to work in opposition to the current establishment. Finally, grooving was also associated with socializing or fellowshipping. All three of these descriptions combine to form the basic essence of our social fellowship.
So if you were doing good in school, you were grooving. If you were having a picnic, you were grooving. So I feel that Groove Fi Groove means that us, we the brothers, the Grooves Fi create the grooving atmosphere, which means we create an atmosphere in which people are successful and people are enjoying themselves, and so on and so forth.
The Phi. In Secrets of the Great Pyramid, Peter Tompkins tells us about the Kemet people of ancient Egypt. They created Phi as a symbol of the creative function of the male reproductive organ, and more loosely as the reproduction in the endless series. It was symbolic for the fire of life. We adopted this symbol of fertility in our name to stand for our continual growth and development. Our Phi in no way should be confused with the Greek symbol Phi, which takes on the same look but a totally different meaning.
The reason I chose Groove is because of its historical origins from the Black Power movement, and the reason that the other organizations and where they emanated from was from a different place, which started at the beginning of the 1900s, which was a different time for people of color. Obviously, you can tell that there was a big difference in the fact that at the beginning of the 1900s, people of color were called colored people. People in the 1960s were called black people, which is a big cultural significance in the fact that at the beginning of the 1900s, a lot of people that were of color were looking to be like that white individual or that slave master and wanted to have the same benefits that that person had. At that point in time, historically, it's documented you had people who were the field Negroes and the house Negroes. And the field Negroes were the ones who worked the field and were out in the field building a lot of things as it related to that farm or to that house for the master. The house Negro was the individual who was allowed to sit at home with the master and basically enjoy some of the benefits, but still be called a Negro. And that's when a lot of these organizations emanated, was because of the fact that they couldn't belong to the white fraternities at that time, and they started these black fraternities at the college campus. I think the first one was Sigma Pi Phi, which was the Boulay, and then the second one was Alpha Phi Alpha at Cornell University. And then it seems like all the other fraternities came as a result of the ills of the other ones. Whereas Groove, it's pretty much documented that it started in the 60s during the Black Power movement. When you look at it, people wore FUBU, for us, by us. They wanted to wear their hair, in an afro. They didn't want to straighten their hair, and every organization that started or emanated at that time, such as Groove, wanted to be about the struggle of people at that time and about the movement that people of color, black people as we were called at that time, believed in themselves and really were strong about their culture and their cultural identity and their being. And that's why really I joined Groove, was because it was an organization that I can relate to, and it was one that I really thought delved into the heart of our people.
From its humble beginnings as a Mother Bear chapter at Morgan State University, Groove Phi Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated had expanded at an unprecedented rate and charted chapters from coast to coast since 1962. At present, the fellowship has more than 30,000 members and more than 150 affiliate graduate chapters and undergraduate chapters throughout the United States. Members come from a wide range of backgrounds and occupations, including, but not limited to, accounting, engineering, government, medicine, law, information technology, entrepreneurs, professional athletes, education, skilled craftsmen, human resources, real estate, protective services, clergy, and the armed forces.
The biggest difference is really the mentality and the belief of each organization. Greek organizations have their own foundation, therefore having their own beliefs in terms of what their organization represents.
Back in the day, from what I understand, there really wasn't that much acknowledgement of self with the black Greek organizations.
Most organizations, Greek organizations, have a stereotype to play a part of, and they lose their individuality. Groove works off of your own individuality, if you want to call it that.
From what I witness and from what I tell people, we are pretty much the same.
In Groove, you're not labeled. In Groove, you have brothers from all different backgrounds and characters.
We're the same people. We come from the same ancestry. I always tell people that the difference between Groove and Greeks are that philosophically we're different.
Our history, stemming from the ancient island of Egypt, which was then called Kemet, they had master schools where they taught math and sciences and things of that nature. And later on, when the Europeans came to colonize Egypt, what was then known as Kemet, they stole this information and took it back to Europe and perpetrated it as their own. So that's where the whole groove comes from. It stems all the way back to the ancient island of Kemet, not just mainly from the civil rights movement, what we know it as today, but the history, the deep history stems from there. So I think that's what imparts us from Greek fraternities and us being Groove Social Fellowship.
To perpetuate the fellowship's purpose, the National Office encourages affiliate chapters to conduct and support community service and civic programs aimed at youth mentoring, education tutoring, scholarship drives, and activities that help to suppress homelessness, drug abuse, and alcoholism.
In other organizations, they would say, come to me and find out what's up. Come to me and this, that, and the other.
The whole concept of there being an organization that had a fraternal structure but wasn't Greek was totally foreign to the current students there. And I had the opportunity to bring that organization back to my campus and have it flourish, to challenge conventional thought.
Groove actually held their hand out and said, look, brother, we want to lift you up. Let me show you something. Let me show you why this organization is a good organization. What could this organization do for me in the future? What can this organization do for me as in the family sense? What could this organization just do for me, period? And this organization showed me that not only is it a business-oriented organization, but it's also a family. And that's what I appreciate about Groove 5 Groove.
You know, even if you're a new member 1 day old, you know, bring it up to the table. You're going to get as much attention and respect as, you know, somebody who's been there 14 years or so. And that really allows, you know, a lot more doors to be open in terms of showing what you can do for the organization.
Like, this organization doesn't make who you are. You, as whoever you are, whatever you bring to the table, you are, in effect, changing a piece of the organization every time someone new comes in. So we don't necessarily say, this is Groove 5 Groove, conform to it. We allow you to be creative and try to do your own thing and make your own path in this organization.
Through these convictions, the fellowship's contributions to society shall never end. The strength of our brotherhood can only be measured by the ties that bind us.
Oh, where you go, Kool-Aid?
Better than me.